Hello everyone. Today we are back again with a very exciting new webinar. Before we start presenting, let me remind you, I'm Dina and I'm the key account manager for some countries like Kazakhstan, Bulgaria, Netherlands, Georgia, and some others. And also I have Maria here from the technical support department. And the topic of today's webinar is going to be CYPEHVAC, a new work environment and new tools. So this is a very exciting time. And I wanted actually to know, Maria, something about the installation. I understand this. This is how to do installation on heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, right? So let's see. For example, here where I am, I can see that I have the grill here, and this grill is connected to the fan coil, and also I could see that there is the duct network as well. So I do understand that this can be perfectly analyzed by CYPEHVAC, right? Okay.
Exactly,
Yeah.
that's a very good example of one of the possibilities of, systems that can be analyzed with CYPEHVAC. That's it.
All right. So could you just tell us more about this software CYPEHVAC? Okay, because I see that that does 3 jobs in one, isn't it? This software, and it doesn't matter where the person in the world right now is, so which climate they have. You can have whatever you need. Yes, so right.
The goal is to have this global solution for heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, depending on what are your needs. So let's move on to the software, because I think it's a good moment to show you the interface. And
Yes.
I think because like in this, let me open the software. Okay, set HVAC,
Yes.
and I think probably a lot of people will have now one question. The first one can be, which systems can be designed by CYPEHVAC? What kind of systems? This question is answered actually in this button, the library button. For me, it's
Right.
the best way
I
of
know.
seeing.
Yes.
Yes, and for I think it's quite like, like engineers like to see things in tree and structures and extractors and everything. So I think it's really good this way of seeing the possibilities of the software, because like, let me contract this and make it smaller. We can see 3 parts: the water air conditioning, water distribution, and air distribution. So on the one hand, you see all the elements that we have as generators, boilers, air-to-water heat pumps, 2-pipe and 4-pipe, water-to-water heat pumps. Then we have emitters. It could be radiators or towel rail radiators. Then we have fan coils and air handlers. The second part is the water distribution. In here, you can see the different elements of distribution, the pipes and the insulation, and then of the fittings that you could insert in the water distribution installation. And then lastly, the air distribution. On the one hand, we have the equipment that is exclusively for air distribution, fans and heat recovery units. And then we have the ducts and the air terminals and accessories. Okay. From here, it's a good way of seeing what is possible to do. And also, I'd like to point out that the software is so flexible because it allows the user to insert their own elements. Okay, by default, we have these blue arrows that let us insert the typical values, but we can also always create our own elements. And of course, have them for other projects, okay? But I'm maybe explaining too much at this point. We were only in the introduction. Okay, but just the part of what is possible, maybe we can go later to this part. But well, the question of which systems can be designed is answered in here. And then the other question, because we have said that the goal of the software is the design of the installations. And I think it's quite an important word to point out that it's a design. The program is making checks in the different pipes, ducts, and equipment. Okay, I'm showing now, for example, the checks that are made in the duct. Everything is green because this duct complies with the checks that I set for the software. The same happens in this case for the pipe. I could click one duct, show you with more detail the checks, okay? But for me, something very important is that these checks can be set by the user. And where is all this information about the checks? This is here in project general options. From this button, the user can set the design and checks values for the pipes, for the ducts, for the expansion tank design, okay, and other checks that will be made, for example, in the meters and so on. Okay, so I think in the best thing is
Maria,
here.
Maria, could I just ask you about the interoperability with the, for example, with Revit of this software?
Of course, because that's in this software in HVAC, the goal is to design the HVAC installation. Okay, we draw the pipes, the ducts, and whatever elements are needed in the system. Okay, but and it could be possible only to do that. Okay, to focus only in the HVAC installation. But as you know, very frequently the project is bigger and includes not only this part but also a geometry, and in that it could this program is able to read the geometry and architectural model. The requirement is that it has to be an IFC. We in Cype we use open formats, and this is IFC is the format we use to import the geometry. You have asked me about Revit, and I'll answer that now. Okay. In that case, in particular, for that we have developed a software which is called the plugin open in Revit. This is a free software, so everybody can download and install it in their computer. And when they do that, they'll see that in Revit they will have this add-in, so they will be able to create a project from a project in BIMserver.center, which is our platform, starting in Revit. Okay? If they do that, they will be able to see, in this case, we're talking about CYPEHVAC, they are going to be able to see in elements red as a model, the model created in Revit. Okay, so this will be be able to see that model. In this case, okay, one before showing this particular case, I'm going to briefly show you one picture that I think can clarify the interoperability with the architectural modeling programs, which is this one. Okay, as we have seen, one possibility is to start with Revit, and then we could continue using CYPEHVAC. Okay, that's one way. It could be also possible to generate the IFC with other softwares, ArchiCAD, Allplan, you name it. In these cases, if you have an IFC with the architectural model, this IFC can be uploaded using IFC Uploader, which is also a software that we provide to all of our users totally free. So they can upload the IFC to the platform and then continue using CYPEHVAC. So that
Yes, I could see there are so many ways we can provide for this. Thank you.
Exactly. You're welcome. And I just because I think we have two modelers that we have developed ourselves from Cype that are really interesting, and I'd like to mention IFC Builder. We did a webinar very recently about that. So if anybody is more interested, they can see it. And another software is Cype Architecture. In this case in particular, I have created, or I have used a file created in Cype Architecture. This is this is the software from which I have the model, the architectural model. This file is linked to a project in BIMserver.center. So I share to the platform, and that's okay. I can show you the contribution to the platform, and that's why when I'm in CYPEHVAC, I'm able to activate, of course, connected to the same project. Okay, I create a new file. I'm sure that most of our viewers today already know all of these. Okay, but only if somebody have missed any webinar, I'm repeating. Okay, just in case. I have this file connected to one project in particular, so I'm able to import the architectural model in this case. So here, as elements read, I'm seeing this architectural model, which of course I can make visible at any point. So here it is, the building that I'm using as an architectural model. So that's quite, more real, of course, and I can take into account the actual position of the ceiling and the different, if it's possible or not, that installation. After all, what we want to do is to make a design that will be useful for the engineer, and that can be real for the real project. Okay, so it's much better. We have this architectural model for us to create a more realistic installation. Okay, so that's it about the part of reading architectural models. As long as it is an IFC, we will be able to read it, and it will appear here as the model. And anyway, at any point we can make the parts that are more interesting for us, as you already know, the categories. For example, I can be interested only in the first slash for a while, and everything. Okay, so that's the part of the interaction.
Right. I could see here in the interface, Maria, the buttons. There is water distribution and air distribution. Could you just bring more light on what do they mean, please?
Okay, yes, of course. I'd like to, talking about the interface, I'd like to point out that the work area in the place where you insert the installation is there's only one work area in CYPEHVAC. Okay, and we have these two tabs in order to make easier to know which buttons to use if we are in the part of, if we are in this moment introducing the pipes, or if we are introducing the ducts. But it's only a way of distribute the buttons. There's actually everything is together in this part, in the part of making the installation. So the first part is the water distribution and air distribution. This is the part of the real installation, the elements that we are designing. And then the second part is the bill of quantities. Okay, this is different. This is a different part, which is where we are ready to update, which means to read the elements and in which quantity they are in the installation part. And then, if we have the cost database and mapping, create the bill of quantities. Okay, but this part, the first one, is common and is in anybody, and everything can be designed at the same time. Okay, that's, for example, here I have this installation that includes pipes and also ducts, and I only need to design once. I click in this button, and at the same time I'm doing both analysis. Okay, So that's it. But so that's why this project option is common to the two tabs. Okay, but in order to get an idea of what is possible to do and so on, maybe it's nice to have this distribution of the interface.
Right. And what about the integrated ducted air conditioning systems like fan coils? I have mentioned that. Yeah.
Look, this is something new of the software, since we have included the air distribution in the software. Now it's possible to do something like this, to do the whole installation first, the part of connecting for example, in this case, the air to water heat pump to a fan coil, so we can analyze the pipes and also make the necessary checks in the different in the equipment, as you see here. So this is on the one hand, we are doing this part, and then we can continue the installation with the ducts. So this is an example of an installation that includes both parts.
I see. And do the colors mean something? Because yes, the colors.
Yes. As we try to make the software as visual and in order to provide information and make the work of the engineer as efficient and productive as possible. So everything is here for a reason. And the part of, for example, the part of the colors, actually, you see that the parts have, in this case, they are green, but with different, one is lighter than the other. In fact, the lighter one is for the return, and the darker one is for the supply. So just visually, you can see and make a visual analysis of the installation. And then, for example, if it's in this case, I have a supply installation for the ducts, and that's why they are blue. If I had different types, I would have more colors. In fact, I'm going to thank you for mentioning this, because this is a very simple example. But I'd like to show you one that I have more complete with more combination. Let me see if it's this one. Yes, this one. In this one, I think it's more interesting in the sense that we can see green and red. And why? Because in this case, on the one hand, we had this installation that connects with the fan coils, in this case, cooling and heating. And on the other hand, we have the red pipes that connect to the manifolds, which are only for heating. So only by this, in a glance, you get an idea of how the installation is, yes, the distribution of the installation, okay? And of course, if something is not compatible, the software will show you, okay? So on the one hand, talking about the colors, we have this, only when you insert a pipe, the pipe will have a certain color depending on what you have said about it, okay? If you have said that it's supply, return, or if it's, okay, here lighter on or darker, depending on if it's supply and return, and different colors depending on if it's heating or cooling, okay? So that's one thing. And the other thing is that once we have analyzed the installation, for example, this one, let's design. Okay, of course I could go pipe by pipe, seeing the results, but sometimes it can be helpful to see the visual representation of the results, and for that we have this button. So we can, for example, say that we want to see the graphical analysis of the results, in this case of the magnitude flow. If we do that, you will see now on the screen that we have the pipes in different colors representing the different flow that we have. Of course, the greater flow at the beginning of the machine, and then less and less depending on the different branches of the installation. Okay, so for example, for that, we can see the results in that way. or we could see, for example, the pressure loss of the spans. Okay, different, and then see it, or maybe
Yes, yes.
the velocity. Okay, it's only so sometimes it can, because I think well, with the software you can dimension or design, or you can also check. So, and sometimes with the result, sometimes this graphical information can give you like an alert that something is not exactly the optimum way of designing the installation. So I believe this button can be very helpful. And before I don't want to forget to mention something. We have seen the results in certain units, the velocity and pressure loss, and these things were in some units. These units can be changed, of course, here, okay? In the, as in all the softwares, actually, you can come to configuration units and change them for your needs. Okay, just in case. I'm always saying this, but just I think it's worth reminding. Okay, so regarding okay, what else should I? Okay, yes, reminding the interoperability.
Yes,
I think
yes. You're just reading my mind on that. Great.
okay, good. We have talked about one way of reading information, which is the part of how that we are able to read the architectural model. Okay, we can read different architectural models from different softwares. But in addition to that, there are other this software, CYPEHVAC, is able to read information about softwares that are specific of thermal analysis. I'm going to show you one example in particular that I think will help understand the process. Okay, I think I have it here. Okay, in this file, okay, in this file in particular, you can see that on the one hand, I have the architectural model, that I have imported from a modeler, architectural modeler, but there are two other models in elements red. Here we can see, I'm going to make invisible the architectural model for a second, and now we can see two more models. One model is the written floor. Let me please make this invisible. Okay, now we can see written floor circuits.
Actually, before you go ahead,
yeah.
does it mean that you can make whatever you need invisible just to highlight the other solution,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, yes, you can do that both for the elements red, which is from other software, and also for the own elements, which are the elements that you have imported or sorry, inserted in this software. So, for example, in the file that I have with elements of CYPEHVAC, for example, for some reason, maybe I want to make the pipes, I could make the pipes invisible. For example, the model is more complex, maybe the pipes are distracting me, so I prefer to be only doing the part of the ducts. It could be one possibility, or okay, and individually, or only I want to see the ducts, or I only want to see the fittings. We'll talk about the fittings later, okay? But you know, like how many you see in the own elements, how they are composed of different elements that could be made visible or invisible, and also possible to snap or not, which is also a very important feature. It can be important at some points when you don't want to delete by mistake something, or you want to copy parts in particular. Okay, so these are interesting tools, I think. Okay, so yes, you can play with that and make the best use of the software. Oh, this is not the file I wanted to show. I was in this one. Okay, this one. In this file, we see that. Okay, we see on the one hand radiant floors that are from other software, and also we see thermal loads. Okay, what it implies is that as I have read a radiant floor result I'm importing here requirements of radiant floor. Let me make the thermal
So
model.
do you mean that CYPEHVAC can be linked to other softwares like radiant floors and other ones?
That's it. That's it. And that's why this, I'll open for a second CYPEHVAC radiant floor, okay? This is a software specifically for designing radiant floor installations. Of course, linking to the same project, I could have designed the radiant floor for this file, okay? If I do that and export to the project, then I'm able, well, because like in this part in this software, in CYPEHVAC radiant floor, what you do is designing the circuits and the pipes that connect to the manifold. So the end of the installation is the manifold. This is very important, okay? So in this part, we have finished here in the manifold. What happens that if we share to the platform, to the same project, when we come to CYPEHVAC, the program is going to read the manifold as our imported requirement, and it's going to show me an error that is something that I must correct, which is this. It says, you must provide a manifold that covers the requirements of radiant floor installation, and it informs me of the volume of water supply that I need for this manifold and the heating needs in this manifold, the power, the entry temperature, and the pressure loss. Okay, by that, then it's very, very easy. What I have to do is to insert, in this case, as is water, in the water distribution, then emitter, this radiant floor manifold. Okay, so this is the end of the installation. If we're talking about the CYPEHVAC, is the radiant floor manifold. Okay, so that's the thing. With these two software, we complete the installation from the beginning to the end. In fact, I'm going to show very, very briefly the complete example, which is here. Okay, in this case, I have continued the process. Okay, where the program has asked to put the manifold, we have put the manifold. I'm going to make this invisible for a second. Maybe it's better to be shown. Okay, so now that we have, if in CYPEHVAC we insert this radiant floor manifold, then the only thing that we have to continue doing here is to connect the pipes to the generator. In this case, air to water heat pump. Okay, so that's we continue. We complete the installation. And the other part the other interesting connection, talking about thermal software, is the connection between CypEHVAC loads and CYPEHVAC. CypEHVAC loads, I'm sure everybody knows this software, but
of course.
okay, but still, I don't want to miss the opportunity to present the software, especially now that is the F version and comes with some new features and improvements.
Yes, it's just been released on the 8th of February. Yes, recently.
So that's why I think, well, I didn't want to miss the opportunity to show the software to everybody in the world. So here we have this free software, by the way, that analyzes the thermal loads of the buildings. And again, I have linked the geometry. I've read the geometry and have analyzed the thermal loads in this software. And let me show you some of the results. Okay. And this is included internally. All the results of the file are included when we share to the platform. So I export the results to the platform as the thermal loads contribution. So Now, if I go to CYPEHVAC in this file, I have imported requirements of thermal loads. This is very well shown with this symbol. Whenever I get this symbol in the spaces, it means that this space has thermal loads analyzed inside therm loads. So you can see now these requirements for the different spaces. So this is informing that there's no, well, the installed power 0 watts is less than, in this case, 1,200 watts, and the same with the cooling. Okay, no, the program is not seeing any installation in this space. Let me just for a sec activate this. Maybe that. Okay, so maybe it's more clear, the part of the spaces and everything. Okay, why is well, maybe some of you are wondering why it says that nothing is installed here if we can see the written floor. Okay, what is missing here is that we have to connect or assign the thermal loads. Okay, I have a complete example here. Okay, here you can see how this is done. Okay, it's very easy. With this button, we assign the different thermal loads to the corresponding manifold, and with that we complete the installation. Okay, so more or less, I think I hope this has been explained.
Yes.
That
That's marvelous job. Absolutely. I wanted
okay.
to ask you as well about the fittings, the generation of the fittings. Do they are they generated automatically, right?
Yes, they are. So glad to to be able to present this really good feature. Here, if we go to in the part of air distribution, you can see that on the one hand we have the duct option in order to insert the straight ducts, and then there's this option of fittings. From here, you could insert by hand the different fittings. This is always possible, okay? But what I think is really great is that the software includes these buttons, which generate automatically the fittings of the installation. And I think in a couple of minutes I'll show you a real example, okay? Because I think it's worth it. But in order to see the result, just to get the idea, I'm showing this installation in which these elements, the transition, the branch, this other transition and branch and so on, and this elbow have been inserted automatically by the software. Okay, so this is well.
You know, I'm not even surprised because the software does all the job for you.
I know. It's we're in a point where it's difficult to surprise. I know, but I think it's good. And well, one thing before doing the example, because I always like doing something from the beginning, so people can watch it again and repeat the steps. Before that, I'd like to show just briefly the drawings. As well, it's so intuitive. By clicking here in the plotter icon, we can generate the drawings, and here you see that the program shows you the different results and the references and in the table, the equipment used, and so on. Okay, and talking about the output, the other output is the results as a document. Okay, because on the one hand we can get the different results of the different elements one by one, but it's always good to have the final report, and this is produced from this button in results reports. We can click here I don't need to update the results. The installation is has been already analyzed. So from here, I can get the reports for the water distribution on the one hand.
I understand that you can request different reports, like you can do separately on water distribution, on air distribution, depends on what you need for the project, right?
Exactly. On the left, we have the reports one by one. So one possibility is the water distribution report, only that one. At any point, you could print the document or export in different formats. And then you have the air distribution document or report, which is the analysis of each of the ducts, including the junctions that are in the total file. So you could see everything that this has been analyzed by the software that is about the air distribution. Okay, so here you have it.
It's a lot of information.
It
and
is.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you, Dina.
No,
Yes,
go on.
talking about a lot. Yes, it's a lot, and in this case, as the installation is a small installation only for one dwelling, it's not that long, but it can be quite a lot, and sometimes we only need the worst case span. For that, we have made for the users, again helping them to make the most of their work. We have this more specific report, which includes only the worst case span. So in this case, it's only the most disfavorable path for the installation. Okay, so again, helping without the information, we have created these reports. And then there's the materials report that includes the equipment used and also with the quantities.
This is amazing. And do you have the reports with the worst scenarios? What could happen? Like,
Yes, that's the 1 second. That's the worst case span. This is exactly that. Yes. This is the one that shows you the. Yes, and
Is
for
it
that.
the duct distribution here? Is it?
Yes.
I see.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is exactly the worst case span for the installation. So yeah, depending on your needs, maybe you want to use the total one or the other. And talking about that, this is I have explained one by one, but you can also, I mean, the user can generate a composition of these documents based on their needs. So on the one hand, you could create this in this part, in the document part. We can click here, in document settings, and create our setting, for example, complete document. Let's call it complete document. And I want to say that I want to include all the possible documents, okay? So that's one option. And then maybe I want another that includes only the worst case path and the drawings, for example. Okay, document. Okay, so this technical document, and that's it. So I can make the combinations as I require. Okay, so about this, well, I think I need to show the drawings just for a sec, because the drawings can be generated from the plotter button and also here as a document. So it's the same process actually, but I'd like to here detail the drawings. Okay, so here it could be this drawing that could be included in the document of the final installation. So this, if we export, I mean, in the document settings, for example, okay, I select the technical document. Now I can see what I have included here, okay? And then if I see the complete document, in this case, I have this, well, it's the 11 pages document with all the required information. Okay, so that's something that can be set by the user. And then, well, of course, we can share it to the project in BIMserver.center. And if we check the reports, these reports will be available for in the project in the BIMserver.center project. Let's say that yes, I want to export it again. Okay, so that's about the outputs. Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I think now it would be a good
That's
moment.
more or less, I think we have covered more or less everything. Just one thing that I wanted to see more about the bill of quantities.
Okay, what would you like to see?
Just to see like what can it do in
Okay,
the sense like related to the software.
Okay, this third tab is connected with the part of the installation because it is generated automatically. The part of quantities is read automatically from the water distribution and air distribution tab. So I only need to click in update the quantities in order to read. I want to delete what was here and update the new ones. So I have imported all the elements that have been used, and in fact, I can see how many of these elements are and the description. Okay, so this what should be done later, because I only have the quantities, is to create or use, if I have that already, a cost database, and then do the mapping. Okay, but anyway, in this case, I would like to point out that this is actually is open bin quantities integrated in CYPEHVAC. So the explanation is the same for any software that includes the bill of quantities. It is also possible to use open bin quantities and integrate all the different results of our installation about MEP, HVAC, structures, or any other specialty. Okay.
Do you have the currency information as well there in that?
Yes, of course. From here you can set what currency you want to use. So you have here this list of currency that you could use. Okay, if you accept, this will be updated to the currency that you want to use. Okay.
Well, can we? Yes.
Sorry.
No. You go ahead.
Okay.
You are the presenter, so go ahead, please.
Okay, because I think I'd like to show people how to use the software.
Please.
Okay, a brief explanation so they see how easy it is to use and how intuitive. So I have only a very something that I'll do in a couple of minutes. Okay, which is because this was one of the highlights of the presentation, to show how to connect the part of the fan coil with ducts, like this one. Okay, fan coil that has duct distribution. So how to continue with the ducts, and well, I'll do it now, okay, to show something how to use the software. Again, for people who are already familiar with our other software, the way is very similar, so they will learn so fast. But still, let's do a little example, okay? In here, that what I want to do is to connect the ducts to this fan coil. Well, what I'll do the way I found easier. There are many ways of doing this, okay? But for me, what I would do is go to the ducts button, duct, and insert here one, or select here one type of duct. If I click in this button, I can select a galvanized steel plate, and in this case, with the shape rectangular, I'm going to select the default value, accept, and accept. With this, now I'm in the first floor. I'm in one floor view, so I could work in 2D mode in this floor or in 3D mode. I'm going to select 3D mode for this because I want to have the freedom to select any point. And what I'm going to do, oh, sorry, 1 second, because something wasn't right here. You see that the arrow is showing me the direction, and it's to the fan coil, and also it's in green. So it's not what I'm going to do. What I want to do is the supply installation. So what I'm going to do is to move here to the part of the blue grill, okay, or the blue spigot. So from here, I want to connect the element. So I'm in this point, and then, okay, and now if I could, of course, continue in 3D and insert the different ducts, but I have to admit that I feel more comfortable in 2D. So what I'm going to do is as easy as come here to projection, this one, and then I can work in this in this way. Okay, so I can see the floor view. So for me, it's much easier. I can, of course, activate the orthogonality button and continue inserting the elements. For example, well, let me keep it like this. I can insert the different elements, and let's click it because I'm in this. I want to keep in this height. Okay, so for example, from here to here, then I can click there and there. When I finish this, you can see that I will, of course, I have errors and warnings, but I'm not worried now, okay? I'm going to just follow the steps the program will guide me. What is the program telling me? Here it says that the ends of the ducts must be connected to another duct or incorporate ventilation equipment or an air terminal. Okay, that makes total sense. In this case, what I need is the air terminal. I'm going to insert the supply grill. So here I'm going to go to terminals, grill, and let's select a model. Let's say I want to select this model in particular, or this one, the default one. Let's make it easier. I'll select the first one, accept, and I'm going to click on the end of the duct. This is great. Let's move it here, for example, and here it is in the right direction. And as you see that the error has disappeared. Okay. Now what else is happening? Now you can see, well, you can see that the ducts are gray. This is normal because they haven't been analyzed yet. Okay. And I'm going to take a look at the warnings. Here you can see that the program is telling that well, I need to provide an elbow. So I could go in ducts, elbow, and insert an elbow. But I will make the software do it for me, okay? But again, just
as always, the software do everything for you.
exactly. So here, for example, you see you must provide junctions. So still, okay, this is some warnings. That's something that I could do. But yes, if I have the software, let's make it work. Makes the software work for me, okay? So what I'm going to do now that the only warnings are about the junctions. What I'm going to do is to click here in generate fittings. So I click in generate fittings, and automatically first I can see the change of color because the program has seen that this is a supply installation, and this I see visually that is all right. And then I can see all the junctions that have been generated for me. Okay, let me. So that's only an example. Okay, but I wanted to see to show people how this is done. Okay.
Oh, well, Maria, I see that the installation has been finished. So,
Yes.
well, let's wrap it up now. Okay.
Okay. Now the users can try. I hope they download and install the software and they can try it. And if they have any doubt, of course, they can send an email to technical support department. No problem at all. We'll be delighted to help them.
Yes, absolutely. And now I would like to thank everyone, all the participants from all over the world for joining today and sharing with us this time, this hour. So hopefully you are in love with the software and well, wish you the nice rest of the day, good week. Take care. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, and thank you very much for the attention.
Thank you, Maria. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.